we can really get to know that customer on a personal level and have a conversation with them. That customer is eternally more valuable than someone that's just seen an ad, bought an impulse, then most likely return it. Whereas the customer that's spoken to you or me or one of the team, they're going to feel like they really know the brand.
After a successful week at their Soho pop-up, we sat down with Tom Holmes, founder of Tom's Trunks, to reflect on the initiative and what it meant for his brand's future. While Tom's Trunks has done multiple outdoor pop-ups at festivals, this was their first indoor retail space, giving them a new perspective on customer interactions and the role of physical stores in their business. We also covered how this pop-up helped to shape Tom's long-term retail strategy and why physical spaces still matter in an e-commerce driven world.
So I think the main thing is we were enabled to make it much more memorable for our customers. And a lot of the customers that did attend meant that over that Christmas period, their average order value was higher, something that we saw. But it also enabled us to just be able to speak to customers in a really relaxed environment and really give something back to our customers. So during the pop-up, we were able to host experiential events, which again, the goal was to improve brand, or customer lifetime value. I don't yet know how that is returned, but from just chatting to customers, I think they really enjoyed it. And it was really nice to actually, just as a founder, for me to speak to customers and make quick changes that we can then go into 2025 and make product improvements. So that enables a really dynamic business. So we've always been a multi-channel business. So we've had 8%, well, last year, 8% of our sales came from pop-up and 92% from online. I'd say we're now much more focused on e-commerce. As I mentioned before, we were thinking about opening a experiential shop full-time in London. What the pop-up enabled us to do is it enabled us to work out what worked. Something that we found worked is giving a reason for the customer to come to the shop that isn't just buying. If you can buy the same product online and you can buy in the shop, they're not going to travel. Even getting the tube or traveling on the train is going to be an issue. So what we found is things like the repair workshop that we did for the first time ever in the J&J pop was really successful. Customers really enjoyed it. We were giving some value back to the customer, and it proved to us that those are the kind of things that we want to be doing. So it's made us change our strategy slightly. We're not going to be opening a shop 7 days a week. We're going to be having a shop that will it'll be our office and workshop, where we'll open it out to the public on certain times for specific events, not just waiting for footfall to come. We find it's not an effective use of people's time and can be quite distracting for the business. But we're going to continue to do our pop-ups around the country, but for short periods of time where we know there's direct footfall. When you can watch customers, you can really see what products they're being drawn to just by visual. And what we actually saw is some products that sold very well in pop-up weren't selling very well online. And that enabled us to change the way in which we oriented our website, because we could see that the customers were finding those more popular. We also were able to understand a few things that were confusing customers, where you would see common trends and customers asking questions, whereas online you may not necessarily pick up those FAQs. So we definitely were able to make some really good changes on the website storefront from seeing how customers interacted with certain products. So they come for three main reasons. I think the physical side pulls our team together. It enables us to not forget what we actually do. I know it sounds ridiculous, but when you're doing online sales all the time, you actually forget to even touch and feel the product all the time. Whereas when you're on a pop-up, you are feeling that product. You're looking at the quality. You know exactly what you're selling and you really believe in the product. So that's the first thing. The second thing of why is it a big part of our strategy is you can make profit off acquiring customers. And you can't do that on paid media, and you can't do that on performance media. And the third thing is it increased the lifetime value. If we're able to have a really positive experience with that customer hopefully will come back. We can really get to know that customer on a personal level and have a conversation with them. That customer is eternally more valuable than someone that's just seen an ad, bought an impulse, then most likely return it. Whereas the customer that has spoken to you or me or one of the team, they're going to feel like they really know the brand. Fulfillment is a massive part of the business. You need to make sure that you get the right item to the customer at the right time. I think something that we find with our customers is that they want it as soon as possible. So partnering with J&J, at J&J, they're a big operation. They can fulfill orders up to 12 o'clock at night, which enables our customers to get their items within 3 days, which is a really valuable USP for us. But most importantly, it gives me time back. It gives me time that I'm not managing warehouse operatives or returns. I'm able to look into the things that really matter, such as making great product, making our impact less and creating great content. And we find if we focus on that kind of stuff, the business excels. I think the most important thing is that the product that you're selling is absolutely amazing. And then that kind of stuff is all a bonus. If they meet you, they are going to spend more, I think. I don't know for a fact. But from what they say is we often see like our biggest spending customers are ones that we met at our very early pop-ups, and they felt like they've been on the journey of the brand, they're following along. So in essence, 50-50. Your product's got to be spot on, and then you've got to make sure you've got that personality behind it. So I think firstly, it enables people to be able to really see what we do. And it also focuses our team. So having a physical presence means we're going to need to open or update with new launches the actual environment, not just on an online perspective, but also an in-person perspective, which hopefully will channel our thoughts and creative process. So we need to have a really consistent launch profile. Also, it just enables more collaborations, more touch points for the customer, more reminders, and therefore hopefully more sales. In the early stages of our brand, pop-up has been like the core, and obviously it used to make a large percentage of sales. We're still seeing growth, but the growth rate in pop-up as a department is nowhere near on the same level as our online growth. But I think it's fundamental to be keeping our customer base and acquiring customers. So we are going to continue to do pop-ups, but probably not grow it as much as we would on our online operation. I think multi-channel is super important because it enables multiple touch points, increases your customer lifetime value, but also keeps you focused in on the product as a team, because you're touching it, you're looking at it, you're feeling it, and you're seeing what it really looks like to sell 20 pairs a day. Because I think often when you grow in a brand or online, you're looking at these numbers and you think, oh, 20 is not very much. 20, if you're handling it, is quite a lot. So it kind of helps motivate everyone and pulls it together and keeps everyone laser focused on who's the market. You're seeing the market. You don't need to look on a Google Analytics dashboard. You see the customer. That is who your customer is. Tailor it for that customer and see the product. I think first thing is stock control. Live stock control is the most important thing. You need to know where your stock is and where you can move it. You don't want to take stock offline and put it on a pop-up if you know that product is selling at a great rate. That's where things like control port are super helpful. You can see the rate of sale by just looking at the dashboard, and you know not to remove it from your online stock and put it into a pop-up stock. Other thing of like just not having to worry about it, you're not picking and packing the orders, so therefore you can double check it, you can make sure it's all correct. That's what I'd kind of say.